Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. And as you know, I go around this freaking amazing planet of ours, finding the best humans on it to come on here to grow, challenge, and transform your thinking. I found someone who's a no bullshitter. Now, you guys know how I am about straight talking, and I know this conversation is going to be freaking awesome. So I want to introduce you to Amy Singleton. Now, her own health forced her out of the career that she loves. So what'd she do? Everything. So she went and became an entrepreneur and a business owner, of course. She's a wife, a mom, she's a nurse. She's the owner of Hite Digital, and she has a podcast called QueensLead. Now, Amy is on a mission to elevate all of those around her to bring joy and enthusiasm in everything that she does. And I freaking love her. I was reading her bio. I'm like, what? This woman's a badass. So we had to have her on here. Amy, welcome to Straight Talk. How are you?
Thank you, Neena. It's a pleasure. I'm so excited to be here. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. One of the things that I love, I have a really great audience. And a lot of them are in either transition where they're transitioning into that corporate, into their own thing and all that. And you've done all of this and you've been through a lot. So I'd like to dig into that. So before we dig in, Amy, let us know a little bit more about you. Who is Amy?
Who is Amy? Amy's a survivor, man. I have kind of been every person, it feels like, over the years.
Right?
Yeah, I grew up in a very traditional middle-class Christian white American family right here in the Bible Belt of America in Oklahoma. I married my high school, college, became a nurse, did all the things I was supposed to do. And then 10 years into my marriage, I found out that my husband was gay. And so that was, I thought I was the only person I thought I was the only person that had ever happened to. And it turns out I'm not, but right. I felt very alone. And I was, I played that victim role for a long time. And obviously got a divorce. Then my health failed me. I was diagnosed with a host of autoimmune diseases, and then started drinking very heavily and just hid from my life for a long time. And then things started to change. I started to dig into myself and really try and figure out how I could move forward. And it all really boiled back down for me to taking personal responsibility over the things that maybe even weren't my fault, like my marriage or my health. But I had a role to play in those situations. So I just started taking responsibility for my life. I met my new husband now. We'll be married 5 years on Christmas Eve. Awesome. And he was working in the oil field. He was a serial entrepreneur, had owned several companies. And we were looking for a way to bring him home. I knew I wasn't physically able to go back to nursing. And we were like, what's a need in our community? Where can we serve? And my husband said, let me tell you, I have paid more money to people like GoDaddy, Angie's List, Home Advisor, web designers, and ad runners who promised me the world and gave me nothing. And so we were like, okay, that's a way that we can have a digital life, have some freedom, and really serve not only our employees and our team, our own family, but other business owners around here, because he especially knew how hard it was to bootstrap a business from the ground up. So that's kind of brought us full circle back to where we are now. And so we're serving small businesses across the country with digital marketing.
Wow. Okay. So he's like, yeah, all right, digital. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So that is hard. I'm sorry that you went through that. And it's also awesome that you went through that too, right? It changes you as a person.
Yeah.
And it also makes you realize the strength in you, the tenacity in you, that grit in you that you maybe didn't even know was there, right? These tough times in life, right? Because life just always throws us these curveballs where we're just like, what the hell just happened? Right? Yeah. I'm on my second marriage as well. We're going on 23, 24 years.
Wow.
My first marriage was, an affair he was having for almost 2 years. I had no idea. And then voila, there it is.
Okay, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. 2 kids later, single mom, got it. It's tough. It's tough. So what was that transition for you? Because I know that you said you went through, drinking heavily, like really not taking care of yourself. You had all your autoimmune conditions, which I have as well. So I get that. They really do come and try to wreck you, those damn
Yeah.
autoimmunes.
Ooh, it's a
um,
challenge.
it is, right? Especially, I don't know what you have, but I have Sjogren's and Graves and a touch of well, at least they found markers of lupus and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
the body aches and the joint pains are,
Mm-hmm.
are a problem, right? But
Yeah.
tell me about, what was that breaking point for you, Amy? What was that? Do you remember that moment or that day or that period in your life where that breaking moment came?
Man, it's so hard. I get asked this question a lot because people want to know, like, how did you move from point A to point B? And
Yeah,
the bottom line is, it wasn't point A to point B. It was point A through Z, through double
right.
A, through double Z, through
Thank you
one,
for
through a
saying that.
million.
Facts.
One
Right.
tiny step at a time. For me,
Mhm.
I think I had distanced myself from everyone in my family. Even my own children were staying with their father for a short period of time because I was not taking care of myself. I mean, feeding,
Right.
showering, doing anything. I was so depressed. There were many, many times I sat there with a handful of all the pills I'd been prescribed in one hand going, this world's better off without me here.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it was probably the voice of my grandmother, who's still alive today. God bless her, the matriarch of our family, been a single woman for like 50 years. She's incredible. She just kept saying, Amy, just keep going. Just keep going. Just take one more step. And for me, that one step was literally walking to the mailbox to get my mail, or walking to the kitchen to make myself a bowl of soup, something very, very
Mm.
tiny. And then really recognizing that that I was really playing a victim mentality, and I was in so I got diagnosed with lupus, rheumatoid arthritis,
Yeah.
psoriatic
Oh my God.
arthritis,
Mhm.
fibromyalgia. It's just mixed autoimmune disorder. They might as well just
Yeah.
call it everything. Who knows?
Right.
But I was in a lot of these like Facebook
Right.
support groups. But what I found in these support groups was it was just a bunch of bitching, just
Right.
bitching
Right.
about how you felt, griping about, why this is happening to me, and trying to connect a symptom with a diagnosis and find that answer. And the bottom line is the answer or the symptom being connected to a diagnosis didn't matter. What mattered was how I felt. And the biggest difference, I would say the biggest step forward, was what changed between my ears
Yeah.
more than anything. Getting
Right.
out of those support groups, starting to take responsibility for what I could do and not
Mhm.
focusing on what I couldn't do, was really the catalyst that started making me step forward. And I have to give a lot of credit to my new husband, Joseph. I say new, we've been together for 6 years now, but an outside person telling me
Yeah.
that I had value, because I'd already blocked out all those who were telling me that before. And there wasn't really anyone in my life that I could believe that I was worth moving forward. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of a really
That's
meandering
that's
answer to your
powerful.
question.
No, that's really powerful, and the reason the reason I really love that answer is because I know that, and you know that, people are going through some really tough times, right? It's been really tough around here, around the world, really, with either you're a person of faith or being pushed back on that. If you're not good enough, if you don't know what you want to do in work or whatever, like a lot of people are going through. They're going through, and I love that you said my one step was walking to the mailbox. My one step was making a bowl of soup, because that's where some people are right now, right? And 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 that's okay as long as you keep moving forward. Like, that's okay. It's okay if all you can do is that bowl of soup. I've been there. Oh my gosh, I've so been there, right? And so, when you started to do that, is that what happened? You saw purpose, you saw like a momentum, and then slowly it started to like snowball into something. Is that what you think happened?
Absolutely. Just one step led to the next step, led to the next step, for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
it started very, very, very small, with
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
tiniest of steps, because I think so many of us focus on the goal ahead, and we don't really stop to appreciate that from where we've come. And so being able to say, okay, you know, my goal today might be to get the mail and take a shower. And then you can start checking off. It's kind of like that Dave Ramsey thing. Like you make little goals and then you build the snowball, right? It's like the depression snowball. Yeah. Maybe today I'm going to take a shower. Tomorrow I'll eat something. And the next day I might go outside and take a walk, you know? So it definitely builds over time.
Yeah,
for sure.
And that's so encouraging. That's so encouraging. And the reason I say it's so encouraging is because I think that now we're getting fed so much garbage when you listen to too many voices. Kind of like the same thing we were saying about the support groups, right? It's the same thing like what happens in social media, right? They think it's at point A to point B, but there isn't. And I love that you said it's A through Z and Z back and back up to A and B and C. And that is that's so real life though. And I think that the reason I like to have these kind of conversations is because I want people to understand that their journey is their journey and it's not going to be an A and B thing. It's just not. And every time I would say that, it's just not. You've been fed a lot of bull crap. It's not.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And
it's so hard not to compare.
Yeah.
You know, you can't compare your Jen Gottlieb was speaking to our mastermind group one day and she was like, and she was talking about social media and making reels and putting yourself out there. But she said, I'm on chapter 20. Other people are on chapter 10 and you're on chapter 1. Do not compare your chapter 1 to my chapter 20. And then she showed us some of her old reels and she's like, this stuff is garbage. Look what I was putting out 5 years ago. Now here we are. You can't look at this perfect persona that people are putting out on their social media, which drives me insane.
I know.
Like, dude, just be real. I think we're throwing around these words of authenticity a lot lately, but people really aren't being truly authentic. No. Like, why are we all pretending to not be humans, to not have babies in our laps on Zoom calls or dogs behind us or doorbells ringing because I'm getting fiber installed today and I'm praying my internet doesn't go out at home in my home office? Like, we are human beings. Quit acting like you're not a human. My clients are human. I'm a human. You know, our customers are human. So let's just be human and be forgiving of one another and give each other some freaking grace to be who we are and take that one next step toward what we're all trying to do, which is just build a better life for ourselves and those around us.
Yes, that's that, man. Wait, hold on now. Here it is.
Boom.
That's a mic drop moment, y'all. That's a mic drop moment.
I just got mine. My little baby mic. I'm gonna drop it. Okay. Hey.
I love it. I freaking love it. All right. So talk to me about then. Well, first of all, I had a more personal question, if you're okay with it. I wanted to know
absolutely
if your faith journey got affected. Did your faith get affected in that? Because I know you said in the beginning that you were brought up in a Christian home and you married young and blah blah. Did that affect your journey with God, with your faith, all of that? Everything you've been through?
Yeah, I would say so. I probably have some pretty unorthodox and woo-woo beliefs, especially in my area. But I would say that my faith has grown through that. I definitely abandoned church and the church people probably more than what people in my circle would like. But I feel like my faith has grown into a much deeper appreciation of God and myself and my relationship to this universe and this world. I truly feel that everything is very connected and that that we only affect one another, one person at a time. Yeah. And if God is in us and God is us, then I think we are underappreciating how powerful we are as humans.
Okay. Fair. I just wanted an answer to that because I'm like, because that can shake you either way, right? That could totally say, nope, no God, done. Or it can enhance it in a different way, right? So
I think it went both ways. At first it was like, okay, nobody cares about me. I'm the victim. God is the kid with the magnifying glass and I'm the ant, it's like Bruce Almighty kind of feeling. Right. But then coming full circle to go, you know what, I'm here for a reason. Yeah. I'm going to affect myself, my community and be powerful in that and stand in my faith that things are possible.
Yeah. That's great. And so it feels to me like you really found that self. You've really found that balance in you. You really found that self in you. I know that I was reading your bio, and I was reading that you lost a lot of weight as well, right? Like all of this.
Yes.
Can you talk to me a little bit about that journey for, in your life?
Yeah, sure. So I grew up definitely a chubby, awkward, goofy girl, very loud and obnoxious and just all wild and crazy. And I didn't step into appreciating this person until I was in my late 30s probably. But yes, I was 284 pounds at my highest weight. That was right when I got divorced, was when I decided to do something about that. And so that was a really weird time to lose a
Yeah.
lot of weight. But I was still in nursing, and I decided to have gastric bypass surgery. And it's been
Okay.
12 years for me
Great.
since that happened. It's been very life-changing. And one of the biggest lessons that came out of that for me was not only taking care of my body and my personal, like, physical health, but recognizing that I'm not put here to please other people. I'm here to
Mm,
serve other people. And people thought I was a lazy fat slob at almost 300 pounds. And then when I lost down to in the 120s, people were calling me a skinny crack whore. And what's wrong with you? So, like, okay, am I
to your
here to
point,
please you?
right?
So to my
Exactly.
point, yeah,
Right.
like no matter who I've been my whole life, the loud, awkward, fat, girl, or the thin, put together business owner, nobody's gonna ever be pleased. And I'm for about 1% of the population, and those are the freaks and misfits I want to work with anyway. So
Right.
forget the
I
rest.
love it. I
There's
love it.
7 billion people on this planet. They ain't all got
Right.
to like me, and that's okay if they don't. I would prefer
Exactly.
if they don't. My DMs are too busy enough as it is. So please, if you're not wild, crazy, misfit, okay with cussing,
I love it.
open,
I love it.
to all peoples of every creed, race, nationality, belief system, then you're not for me, and that's
Right.
okay with me
And
now.
that's okay.
So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Exactly.
okay.
And that's okay because I feel like everybody's going to have their tribe. There's 7 billion people. Come on now. You
Right,
can tell me
right.
you can't because, oh, Amy's doing
Mm,
it, so I can't do it. Yes, you can. You could do it. And Amy will find her peeps and you will find yours. So let's
that's
talk
right.
about your peeps. Who do you work with? Why do you? Because I know you have a podcast as well. You still have it, right?
I
Yeah.
do. Yes.
Okay,
Hmm.
great. Let's talk about your podcast. And I also want to talk about your business and what you're doing now that you shifted over into doing that. So let's talk about your
Yeah.
podcast first.
Yeah. So my podcast is called QueensLead. It's for female entrepreneurs and business owners. So I talk to women from the spectrum. I have coaches, of course, and then talk to a lot of nonprofit leaders, and then just other women in business. I've even had a few guests that are like you, like your audience, thinking about, God, I want to step out of corporate America, or I want to step out of teaching and do something else, but they just don't
Mhm.
know those first steps to take. And so just uplifting other women. I think there's space
That's
for all of
awesome.
us. I hate the
Yeah.
competition between us, especially. I think there's room for everyone. So as we're riding that elevator up, I like to send the bitch back down and bring more women up to the top
Right.
and let them
I
have
love it.
let them have their voice and talk about
I
what they're
love it.
doing, help one
Yeah.
another. So that's
Yeah.
what Queen's Lead is all about. To
Yeah,
be
that's
a queen
powerful.
leader, you can't rule. You can't rule. You have to lead. So
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
my intro says, as a child of the 80s, I'd love to say that queens rule, but they don't. They lead.
Right.
So
Right. I love it. Okay, so then now getting into the digital space, was that because I know that you were a nurse, right?
yes, yes.
So why digital and how the hell did you do that? Like were you
I,
already
I
in
know.
the digital space or did you decide you were going to learn it and just do it? Like,
Yeah,
okay, all
pretty much.
right, Amy
Yeah.
Singleton.
So when I met my husband, and when I met him, he'd been a serial entrepreneur. He'd owned several home service companies, construction and general contracting, painting, that type of business. I had zero exposure to anyone in my family ever being a business owner whatsoever. My
Mhm.
grandfather that died when I was 5, um, was an entrepreneur, but I had so little exposure to him. I had no idea what being an entrepreneur, a business owner was all about. But we knew that we wanted to bring my husband home from the oil field, and we knew that my body would not let me go back to nursing.
Right.
So during 2018, 2019, we started saving up money. We were just socking away that good oil field money and trying to make a plan. And we were looking for where can we serve in our community. So in Oklahoma, medical cannabis was recently legalized. We thought about opening a dispensary. We thought about opening a restaurant until we found out the margins. We thought about lots of different ways. But we were really going, where can we serve this community? What's lacking here? And my husband said, I have paid more money and been more dissatisfied with digital marketing agencies, like big people like Angie's List, Home Advisor, down to, Wix and little Weebly website builder people who promised me the moon and gave me nothing. He paid for ads and all this type of thing. So that's where that started. We started digging in, and I joined a Facebook group actually and started learning how to build websites, went to school, got some knowledge under our belt, and just started doing it imperfectly, which was terrifying for me. Oh my God. Should have seen the first websites I built. They were awful, but people were paying me money and I was just moving forward and doing the thing as to my best of my ability. And then just this last year, we were very blessed to be approached by Hite Digital, which is the very first iteration of a digital marketing franchise. And now we are a part of something much bigger. It's serving a much larger purpose, not only within our company, but for our clients. And so we have a very controlled product that is very excellent. And we're able to aggregate the information of our 20 plus franchise owners across the United States so that we have amazing data across many industries. And then we use that to help move it forward. Yes. The vision of JC and Karen Hite was to kind of become the century 21 of digital marketing. Because in digital marketing, all you have to do to do the thing is raise your hand and say, I'm a digital marketer.
Right.
And not necessarily deliver. There's no regulation, no regulation as far as like medical field or finance or something like that. And it's the only industry where we take people's money, call it an investment, and we're not regulated at all. And we foresee that coming. And so that's the reason behind, one of the many reasons behind our franchise model and the way that we serve our clients, keeping up to date with all of the latest algorithm updates, having a QA team. Most of the time, what you get with digital marketing agencies is one or two people that are the talking head and an out-of-country fulfillment agency that they never speak to and don't know anything about, have no control over. So we're really flipping the switch, flipping the script as it relates to digital marketing.
No, that's really, really great. And I know that we talked about in the beginning, is that I have a really great audience, and a lot of them are entrepreneurs and, people who are shifting into entrepreneurship or leadership. Right. And so I know that what you're talking about, they're going, yes, 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 because it's true. Right. I mean, I've been in the business for a while myself, and I know I have definitely thrown money at things that have not produced anything. And the same thing goes with coaching and stuff too, is it's not regulated, right? So I'm getting a lot of people who have been maybe hurt by other coaches because they promised them world, the moon, and the stars, and they weren't able to deliver, and that happens, right?
Yes.
So how do you integrate the love of what you love to do, which is empowering women and families and stuff like that? Do you integrate that at all with what you do digitally? Like, are you working with all? I know you said in the beginning you're working with all genders, religions, thought processes, all of that kind of stuff. Is it throughout different kinds of industries, or do you focus mostly just on coaching and consulting, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we do not, a lot of digital, even a lot of our franchise owners did niche down into something very specific like roofing. We're really more locally niched because we're very passionate about our local community here in Oklahoma City area. So we love to work with them. Because of my husband's background in home services, we also serve a lot of roofers, plumbers, electricians, home services industries. Yeah. He's able to have a very unique conversation with those people because of that experience. And then for me, I love to work with physicians, clinics, med spas. The people in healthcare we're kind of weird. We only really trust people who are also in healthcare. So when we're looking for a financial advisor, we're looking for like a retired nurse that is really good with money. It's kind of strange. So I have a unique perspective in understanding the needs of a physician or a clinic or someone in med spa area. But we work with people across all industries, anybody that wants to take their business to the next level. We also work with brand new businesses. We actually I got a text this weekend from a new client. the bottom line is we want to work with people whose values align with us and who are really passionate about what they're doing so that we can help bring those dreams to life for them. We're working with a local company here that's building a brand new gym for kids. So it's like a gym like we're used to going to that has classes, because not every kid is into karate or ballet or organized sports. They don't want to be on a soccer team, but they need to be fit and healthy and have a tribe. So I got a text from that client saying, hey, just wanted to let you know, we just kicked off their Facebook ads campaign. And she said, I just wanted to let you know, I've gotten tons of inquiries already. At least 30 people have told me the website is beautiful. But what's really amazing, she said, I wanted to share. I've had several inquiries since the ad started running, but I got one tonight from a mom asking if we could accommodate her autistic son, and it literally made me cry. I'm so happy to be able to make a difference and create a safe space for kids and their parents. Thank you for helping us do that. That's why we do what we do, because she was a fitness health coach on her own, and she saw a need during COVID that parents were bringing their kids with them to personal training. And they're like, man, my kid's not into soccer, but they need something to do. And so her dream was born out of a need, like our dream was born out of a need. And so finding those kind of people who are doing something different and making a difference. I mean, this autistic kid's going to come to that gym, have a tribe, a place to plug in and get fit and learn healthy habits. It doesn't get any better than that. That's why we do what we do. That's why I don't niche down, because I don't want to just be putting new roofs on homes. I want to serve everyone's dream and help it come to life.
But you know what, your husband's side of it too is very needed as well. Like my husband's in construction and stuff. He's been doing it for 35 years. And that's the thing too, even with construction people or people who are in the home, you know, fixing up business, they only trust people who have been in it too, you know? So you're also hitting that market, which they don't have much, believe it or not. They don't, they really don't. Angie's List is one of them, you know, like those kind of things. And they're okay. But I love that. I love that you're doing that. So if you were to, if somebody's listening right now and it's like, okay, what do you think is like the first step to know, to how to work with a real good digital marketer like yourself, or, you know, a web designer like yourself? What should they be looking for? Because there's so many fake things happening out there, right? So what do you think are one of the things that they should be asking or looking for when they want to work with someone like you or work with you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would ask about their team and ask them if they white label. If you say the words white label to a digital marketer and watch their face glaze over, you will know if they do use white label. The vast majority of the time, they do not have a good, solid working relationship with that white label. They are selling you a product and offloading the SEO or the ad campaign to somebody else that is outside of their control. So that's the first question I would ask a digital marketer. And the second one is, what questions are they asking you? What are they asking you about your branding, your vision, your goals? Is your goal to sell your company? Is your goal to grow and work in your company forever? Is your goal to grow it, to step out of the doing and have 10 crews that fulfill that work? What is your messaging? We always start with messaging. What are we saying to our clients? Because I can take and magnify a message out across the internet, but if it's not speaking to that ideal client and solving a problem that they're currently having, it's going to fall on deaf ears. We get 6,000 ads a day and we don't remember them unless they're speaking to a problem that we are currently having.
That's good. That's good. So you're helping them also kind of like really streamline and really visualize and think about what it is you're building for them, right?
Yes. Everything we do is based on getting an ROI. We have a tracking tool that monitors every lead that comes in through their website, whether it be an organic lead, a Google ads, a Facebook ads, so that they can actually go in there and disposition like, yes, this was a good lead. No, this wasn't. This one was worth this much. And this one was sold for this much, so that they can, so many business owners don't know their numbers. They don't know their close rate. We help them to identify their close rate, their margins, their actual ROI for what they're spending with us.
Right. Wow. That's really
it makes a big difference.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference because that's not always offered, right? I mean, most of us, especially when we're starting, we go to Fiverr. Okay, you build my website.
I just had someone say that the other day. Like, please don't go to Fiverr for your logo and your backlinks. Oh my gosh. Stop it.
Stop it. I know I
Stop.
had to go outside of that because in the beginning, you don't know who to trust. You don't know who actually is doing the right job. That's why I
Mhm.
wanted us to have this conversation because I wanted people to see not only are you, have this service that they can dig into, but I wanted them to know you, right? Your heart behind it, why you're doing what you're doing. Because I think no, I know that that's most of the way people are connecting now with people they're working with their
Mhm.
businesses, right?
Yeah.
That's why I like to have people that come on here and highlight who they are, but also what they do, because that makes you real, makes you authentic, and it also makes you personable. Like they know, okay, now I know Amy, really has been through something and she really is out here trying to help people, as opposed to
Mhm.
you just being somebody floating in one of these countries in Fiverr that
Yes.
promise you something and then don't deliver, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Amy, I know that I have people, like I said, who are probably like, okay, can we get her info, please? Now, thank you. All right, Amy. So I'm gonna ask you to please let my audience know how they can contact you, work with you. Like, what does all that look like? Go right ahead.
Absolutely. I've made it really easy for you. It's all in one place, amysingleton.net. At amysingleton.net, you can find links to my podcast. You can find links to our creative and our fulfillment websites, which is the product websites for SEO and Google ads and all that kind of thing. My speaker bio sheets are there. I also do public speaking. So I have a personal and
Awesome.
a business speaker bio sheet. Everything can be found right there. And all my links to my social media is at amysingleton.net.
Yeah, and it's a fly ass website.
Thank you.
I was
My
looking
team's
at it, I
pretty
was like,
good.
okay, all right, you got a fly website. I understand. But
It's
Amy,
what we do.
yeah, I know that's right. But at least you're actually showing it, right? So it's really,
Mhm.
because and the reason I say that is because, like I said in the beginning, when I first started my business a couple years ago, I went on Fiverr to build a website, which I had to get redesigned because it was a mess. But I should have known better because it's not like that person had their own website. Right? They
Mhm.
had a little
Mhm.
portfolio that they said they put together, but they didn't have their own website. And it wasn't even something that it actually triggered a thought that I should be looking at. Right
Yeah.
now, I'm a
Yeah.
couple years in, so I've been hurt enough, gave enough money away
Aw.
to learn these lessons. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
glad you're
gosh.
telling others these lessons. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But thank you so much for being on Straight Talk and sharing your life with us. I really, really am grateful and appreciate it. And I really love the work that you're doing. I am going to be going and subscribing to the podcast. So I'm really excited about that as well. But thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here and sharing everything with us. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Neena. It's been a pleasure.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you were here. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to make sure to link all of Amy's information below so that you go ahead and really connect with her. And for those of you who are out there, because I know I speak to a lot of you who are starting your businesses, developing a plan, all of that great stuff. What a better way to do it than to do it right from the beginning. Don't go trying to shortcut into Fiverr like your girl did. Don't do that. But go ahead and you like work with somebody who's professional that has real integrity and came on here and really shared their life with you, knows who they are, they know what they're creating, and they know how they can help you. So make sure that you connect with Amy. I'm going to make sure to put everything below. This is Neena Perez, Straight Talk, no sugar added. Until next time.